Reports are stating that Spurs are set to foul in a bid to tie Antonio Conte down to a new deal before the season resumes on Boxing Day, despite being offered a £1 million per year pay rise. The Daily Telegraph have stated that 2 signings are expected at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in January. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. So let's start with some big news about Antonio Conte. A report has just been published by the Daily Mail, and they are stating that Tottenham set to foul in their bid to tie Antonio Conte down to a new contract before the season resumes, with the Italian boss in no hurry to sign an improved deal despite Spurs offering him a £1 million per year pay rise. In this report, it says Antonio Conte has made it clear he is in no hurry to sign a new and improved contract. There has been talks during the World Cup to extend his deal, which is due to expire at the end of this season, and which contain an option for 1 more year, but an agreement is yet to be reached. Also in this report, it says it is a stance consistent with Antonio Conte's usual style. Wherever he works, he likes to exert pressure on the club, especially when the transfer market is about to open. He walked out on both Juventus and Inter Milan because he was concerned about their commitment to improve. And with his wife and daughter still based in Italy, the prospect that it might happen again remains. Antonio Conte, 53, will expect evidence that Chairman Daniel Levy continues to share his level of ambition to keep Spurs at the top and competing for big prizes. The Italian remains hugely popular with the fans after leading Spurs back into the Champions League and because they are a credible fourth after 15 games of this season. But there are high-profile alternatives on the market if they do decide to go their separate ways, including former Chelsea boss Thomas Tuchel. The report then goes on to say that meanwhile his contract talks will continue, but Daniel Levy is understood to be comfortable with the situation. Tottenham are set to face Nice in a friendly on Wednesday evening. Ahead of the game, he addressed his players who took part in the World Cup in Qatar. Conte said Hugo Lloris lost the final and instead Christian Romero won the final. For Harry Kane, he missed a penalty, but I think he played a really good World Cup. For sure, they have to try and put to one side this experience. Every experience is very important in your life, but at the same time, you have to know that you have to start thinking about Tottenham again and try to do our best. We are talking about important players for us. These are players who can make a difference. The Daily Telegraph have also reported on this story, and they are stating that Tottenham are prepared to give Antonio Conte a £1 million a year pay rise to sign a new deal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But Antonio Conte will not rush into any decision because he wants them to confirm that they share his ambition and also consider his family who live in Italy. The Daily Telegraph have also stated that Tottenham Hotspur Football Club are thought to be ready to sign 2 players in the January transfer window for Antonio Conte, with a defender and a creative midfielder expected to be high on the club's priority list. Now, the Tottenham Hotspur women won all 3 of their group stage games in the League Cup in Group E, including the most recent victory, a 1-0 win at Southampton on Sunday. Now, the quarter-final draw for the Continental League Cup took place on Tuesday evening, and the Spurs women have just been drawn against Chelsea at home. The game will be played at Brisbane Road. The Continental League Cup quarter-final fixtures will be played on the evenings of Wednesday the 25th and Thursday the 26th of January 2023. Now, a couple of fixture changes for the Tottenham Hotspur under-21s. The opening game of 2023 for Wayne Bennett's side. Also, the first game back after the World Cup break, away to Liverpool, remains on Sunday, the 8th of January at the Reds Academy facility, but will now kick off at the earlier time of 12 noon UK time. Furthermore, the following weekend's home match against West Ham United at Stevenage Lameck Stadium will now take place on Saturday, the 14th of January. Kick-off 12 noon UK time, having previously been scheduled for the Friday evening. Also, a new kick-off time for the Chelsea fixture for the Tottenham Hotspur women. The Barclays Women's Super League broadcast selection process for February has now been completed, with our home fixture against Chelsea selected for TV coverage. The match will still take place on Sunday, the 5th of February at Brisbane Road, but will now kick off at 12:30 p.m, an hour and a half earlier than previously announced. The Tottenham Hotspur women's fixture against Chelsea will be broadcast live on BBC Two. Reports in Italy are stating that Tottenham Hotspur are still tracking Atalanta playmaker Ruslan Malinovskyi. Spurs are only willing to pay £12.9 million. Atalanta want more, and the player's contract is up in the summer of 2023. On Tuesday, Tottenham Hotspur head coach Antonio Conte provided us with some injury updates and some team news. Richarlison on Wednesday will be having a scan to find out the extent of his injury picked up at the World Cup playing for Brazil in Qatar. Ben Davies is now back fully in training, and he has recovered from his injury that he picked up at the World Cup. And Rodrigo Bentancur is expected to be back in a Tottenham Hotspur shirt playing in the Premier League against Aston Villa on New Year's Day. Now, my thoughts on these stories in this episode. Let's start with the report. Tottenham set to foul in their bid to tie Antonio Conte down to new deal before season resumes, despite being given a £1 million pay rise. I'll tell you what, I would feel so much better as a Spurs fan knowing that Antonio Conte is going to be our manager next season. But of course, I've absolutely no doubt that he wants to see how he is backed in the January transfer window. I have said this for quite a long time. Many reports, including from the Daily Telegraph, very, very credible, are stating that 2 signings are expected in the January transfer window. As a Spurs fan, that is exactly what I'm expecting. But what type of signings are they? Are they going to be players that Antonio Conte wants? Are they going to be players for the future, players that are going to sit on the bench? Because I tell you what, and I tell you now, we need another January transfer window exactly like the last one. And I've said this many, many times on this channel. Bentancur and Kulusevski walked straight into the Spurs team, and because of them, they changed the whole dynamic of the team, and we ended up getting Champions League football for this season. We need 2 players that are going to improve the starting 11 straight away. There have been so many reports out stating that Spurs want to sign, or Antonio Conte wants to sign, a creative player. You see lots of reports stating that he wants another striker. You see lots of reports stating that he wants a right wing back, a centre back. In my opinion, if it is going to be 2 quality, real decent players that are going to walk straight into this first team, I'll tell you now, top of my list would certainly be a right wing back, because that is the biggest area that we do need to improve. And another one would be a centre back. But I tell you what, my stance on Antonio Conte, this club have to back this manager. He has transformed this club in the 13 months that he has been here. He's taken us from Europa Conference League football to Champions League football. Week by week, he improves this football club on the pitch and off the pitch. And I've said it so many times, and I feel like a broken record saying it. If you give this guy what he needs, if you give this guy the tools that he needs, he will put trophies in the cabinet. And let's face it, the trophies are way overdue at this club. You've got to be backing a manager like this. He is an elite manager, a world-class manager, and he will deliver. He's obviously saying, we need this, we need new players. I've no doubt that he's constantly stating that we need new players. Us as fans know that we need new players. If Antonio Conte wants to compete at the very best, which of course he does, he doesn't want to finish just in a Champions League place. He don't want to finish just 4th. He wants to be challenging. And to be challenging, you need to spend money. And, you know, there should be money left over. There's lots of money coming into the club, so I've absolutely no doubt or question that there's not money to spend. Lots of rumours are going around stating that there's not money to spend. Let's wait and see in the January transfer window. But personally, I'm hoping that Antonio Conte is backed fully, and gets the players that he desperately needs. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, come on you Spurs.